how to listen. You know, there is certain irony when I say these three words. Because you, dear listener, you've been doing all the listening. And I, on the other hand, I've been just talking, not listening at all. But I hope you'll forgive me for that and allow me to talk more about listening and how we can work on our listening skills. And for that, I've got a wonderful book with me called How to Listen by the great Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh. Now, first of all, I think instinctively we realize that there is some value in listening. But a lot of times we don't realize that we are not good listeners. Most of us are not. In fact, it's very rare to find good listener these days. Because here is something we don't understand. That listening is not equal to hearing. Something going inside our ears is not equal to listening. Listening means that we engage deeply with the subject. We understand what's going on and we communicate, because the communication process is not complete until the listener listens. It's not just the speaker speaking, but the listener who then takes over, listens and completes the communication process. And there are so many other things that create a barrier in listening. For example, there are so many distractions in today's world. We have our phones with us that constantly distract us. Then we have our own emotional responses. For example, if somebody is talking to you on a particular subject, you feel like interrupting them. Maybe they are saying something inaccurate. You want to correct them. Or maybe they are saying something hurtful, something that is triggering you, annoying you, hurting you. And you want to intervene right there. And that's what we do. We interrupt, and somehow the conversation goes badly from there on. So once again, it affects the whole communication process because we couldn't listen as we should have. So how do we work on all these issues so that we can listen really well, deeply, with good intentions to understand? And that's really the key. The intention is not to just respond to the other person, but to understand, to absorb, to make them feel heard, so that this entire conversation, the entire experience feels more therapeutic. That's the aim we should aspire for. So how do we go about it? How do we make sure that we become better listeners? And it's not going to be easy. It takes a little bit of effort, little bit of practice. But if you do that, if you follow the Zen master's advice, I'm sure you're going to get much better at it. So let's start with the Thich Nhat Hanh's suggestions. How do we work on our listening skills? There are two parts to it, he says. First is listening to yourself, and the second part is listening to other people. Let's talk about the first part, listening to yourself. What does that mean? It means that whenever we see ourselves as listeners, then it's important that we come into the conversation, we show up as a vessel that can take in things, that can absorb things. There should be some space within us. For example, he makes this comparison that you have a cup full of tea, then you cannot add more tea to it. It's just not possible. It will spill over. Similarly, if you don't have that mental space within you, you're going to have a really difficult time listening to the other person. So, first of all, is to make sure that we are in a good mental space, that we can absorb things, soak in things, and more importantly, we don't react emotionally to the things that are being said to us. We need to be really patient and really compassionate. How do we do that? The simple answer: mindfulness. We practice mindfulness. And of course, that itself is a long journey. How do we practice mindfulness? But there are certain easy practices. One of them is practicing this breathing meditation, that you just follow your breath. Wherever you are, whatever you're feeling, wherever your thoughts are wandering at any given moment, just come back to your breaths. You may close your eyes if it's possible. If it's not possible, then also fine. Just try to come back to your breaths and feel them. Don't try to change them. Don't try to manipulate. Don't have to do anything. Just follow it. Observe it. Observe the passage of air as it enters through your nostrils, goes into the chest, and then into the belly. And then it comes back through the same route, comes out. Just follow it. Feel grounded. Just follow as you inhale, and then as you exhale, follow it again. And when you do that, inevitably your mind will wander somewhere. And that's fine. That's really natural. Let it do that. Just remind yourself. Bring your focus back to the breath. Once again, practice this. Practice wherever you can, whether you are at work, you are at home, you're lying down, you're standing up, sitting down, whatever you're doing. Just come back to your breaths. And you will realize that a lot of times, if you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed, let's say you're feeling a little annoyed, you're feeling a little angry, coming back to this process, to these breaths, just calms you down, soothes you. It really helps feeling grounded. And this is really the first step towards learning mindfulness. What is the idea here? The idea is that we are mindful. We are in the present moment. We're not going into the past, into the memories. We are not imagining things in the future. We are not paying too much attention to our thoughts, because thoughts are what? Just like our breaths, they come and go. They arise and they fall in the consciousness. So we don't take them very seriously. We live in the present moment. We come back to the present moment and we feel mindful. And when you do that over a period of time, you'll realize that you'll feel much more comfortable with your body, with your mind. You'll understand yourself better. You'll understand what triggers you. You'll understand your own emotions. You'll understand your fears, your worries, your anxieties. So what do we do about it? Nothing really. We just accept them. We understand them, accept them. That's all we need to do. Just like we were trying to understand or follow our breaths, we just need to follow our emotions, understand them, and embrace them. If there's a fear in our mind, just focus on it. Don't have to react to it. Don't have to give in to it. Just understand, just observe it like a neutral observer. Just look at it and embrace it. Similarly, if you feel some kind of anger, this burning sensation in your gut, just embrace it. It's not really an enemy of yours. It is a part of you. As Thich Nhat Hanh says, he says feelings, whether that of compassion or irritation, They should be welcomed, recognized, and treated on an absolutely equal basis because both are ourselves. So, a lot of times, what we do is we think probably anger is bad and we try to suppress it, and similar feelings we have towards negative emotions. We don't need to feel that way. Just embrace them, just comfort them. There's an anger within you, just try to comfort it, hold it, and be compassionate towards it. When you do that, you'll feel much more comfortable emotionally, you'll feel calm. And that's the first step towards developing our listening skills, this kind of emotional calm or balance. Once that is restored, we are much better prepared to listen to the other person. But if we don't work on our own emotions, we don't listen to our own bodies, our own minds and thoughts and emotions, then there is every chance that we are not going to be good listeners to the other person. We might listen to the content of their speech, but our responses might be triggered with emotions. And that kind of really spoils the whole process, the whole conversation. And we should be careful about it. So that's the first step, really important step, working on our own emotional health, feeling good within ourselves so that we have that space, that capacity in our minds to be able to listen to the other person. So that's a really big and challenging step. That is listening to yourself. Now, the other part, which is going to be slightly easier, but nevertheless, it's really important. That is listening to others. Now, conversations can be of different kinds. There can be romantic conversations that you'll have with your partner. There can be really tough business negotiations that you might have with your colleagues, your clients, business partners, etc. Then there can be really challenging diplomatic conversations that country heads, politicians, or diplomats might have. So there can be different kinds of conversations, but we need to understand that there are certain basics that we can follow in all these settings, which will allow us to have really fruitful conversations and have a good experience in those conversations, and at the same time the results will be much more productive. So here are the few things that we can keep in our mind when we're going to have a conversation where we think we should be really good listeners. So let me list down these few things, and I hope they are going to help you. The first one is, as I discussed earlier, we need to make sure that we have that space in our minds, that we are coming with good intentions, and we are in a mood where we think we have the capacity to listen, that we can be patient, we can be kind and compassionate throughout the conversation. If we don't like we have that strength or that capacity at a given point of time, it might not be a good idea to enter the conversation with a wrong set of mind or thoughts that we have. So just be clear in your head that you are ready for it and you're going with good intentions, and at the same time you have enough strength in you to be kind and compassionate to the other person, because you are going to need it a lot. Then the second part, go with the expectations and remind yourself that you're going to get triggered at some point. There will be certain triggers, there will be unpleasant things coming from the other side, things that you may not like, things that will make you angry or annoy you, trouble you. What do we do then? We just remind ourselves to listen first and not react. We need to be calm. First, let the other person say whatever they want to say. Let them finish their points. That's very important. In case if you feel triggered at any point, just remind yourself it's your own mind that's causing this hurt, this getting triggered by it. It's not just the other person. It's not the words. Words themselves, they don't do anything. They come into our consciousness, in our minds, and they trigger something, and that causes then the emotional reaction. So clearly, there is something in our own minds that is then eventually triggering it. So don't have to blame the other person that they are triggering it. It's also our own responsibility. We have to take care of our own mind. No matter what the other person is saying, let them say, have a slightly detached sense of engagement there, and let it come to you, and then process it. But don't give in to the emotions, don't give in to the triggers. Then the third point, understand that the other person is suffering. And as I said earlier, you are going to need a lot of compassion and kindness towards the other person, towards the speaker. Because inevitably it will happen that this person will say certain harsh things. They will say certain things that might piss you off. So we have to constantly remind us that if the other person is saying something harsh, something rude, something unpleasant, it's only a reflection of their own pain. It's their own suffering that is spilling over. That's the kind of compassion we need to find for them. We have to look past their tone and their words sometimes and focus on their need for comfort and understanding. And that should be the primary focus of a conversation, any conversation, that we understand the other person. And I think that's really the key if you want to love a person, if you want to make somebody happy, that you try to understand them. Once you understand a person, then they'll feel more comfortable with you, they'll feel loved. So love is in some ways a byproduct of understanding. If you're willing to understand somebody, that just does the groundwork for love. And from there on, having that emotion of love and warmth and comfort, that gets really easy. So just focus on that. Focus on the suffering of the other person. Be gentle and compassionate towards them. Then the next point is to give your undivided attention. Just be fully present in this moment. When you're listening, listen. Don't get distracted. Don't think about anything else. Don't go to your phones. Nothing. Just give all your attention to the speaker. Even if it feels, as I said earlier, the information is inaccurate, their perceptions are wrong, it's okay. Let them speak. Don't interrupt. Don't intervene. And only respond when you are asked to do so. And that too gently, with warmth and kindness. Until then, just complete attention on the speaker and what they are saying. And the last point, when to take a pause or when to take a break. Throughout these points, I kept reminding you that you need to be prepared, you need to be in a good state of mind. But let's say you're feeling too overwhelmed, you're feeling too triggered, you think that you're going to give in to the emotions, you might just get angry, you might just react too much, and that's not going to go well. Just take a pause and tell the other person that it's getting a little challenging for you to listen and you would like to take a break and would like to listen to them again, maybe after some time, maybe tomorrow, maybe after a few days. That's entirely up to you. But just communicate this point that you're not feeling completely ready to listen and you would want to be really prepared, really focused. so that you can give your best to them as a listener. Just tell them. Once you communicate, I'm sure they'll understand, and you'll have a better communication, better conversation the next time. So these are the only points that you need to listen, that you need to keep in mind, and then listen accordingly. Once you do that, I'm sure that most of your conversations, they will become more meaningful, more beautiful. And as I keep saying, this will have a kind of a therapeutic effect, both for the speaker as well as the listener. So I hope these really simple points, as suggested by Thich Nhat Hanh, they are going to help you develop your listening skills. And I wish you really well for this journey, and I hope you'll have a really good conversation next time. Thank you very much for listening. No pun intended there. And I'll catch you the next time with another wonderful book, some another interesting lessons. So thank you.